correct? 10 day.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is the advertised time and place for the November 21st, 2024 Planning Board meeting. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Welcome, everybody. Member Bear is under the weather. He's not going to be able to join us today. We hope he feels better. We're going to start with public hearings. I would just like to remind all the speakers that for a public hearing, you have to speak at the microphone for the record. Thank you. The very first one, Mallas Property Minor Subdivision with Matt Charter.
Okay, I'll start by reading the public. What's that? No, I know that already. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. I'll start by reading the public notice. Please take notice that a public hearing will be held before the Planning Board of the Town of Riverhead at the Riverhead Town Hall, 4 West 2nd Street, Riverhead, New York, on Thursday, the 21st day of November, 2024 at 3 o'clock p.m. to consider the minor subdivision application entitled Mallas Property, which proposes to subdivide a 1.087 parcel into two lots, where proposed lot 1 is to contain 21,776 square feet and is to retain an existing two-story single-family residence and accessory structures, and where proposed lot 2 will contain 25,567 square feet, where an existing frame garage and frame shed are to be demolished, located within the residential B40 RB40 zoning use district situate at 86 2nd Street, Hamlet of South Jamesport, more particularly identified as Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-92-2-38. Just a little background on this. The Planning Board by Resolution 2022-048 dated July 18th, 2024 issued a neg deck on this application. By appeal number 2024-028 dated October 10th, 2024, the Zoning Board of Appeal did grant the required relief for the subdivision. And just a bit of housekeeping on our end, it looks like the Zoom link that was posted on the agenda was incorrect. The correct link is now available online and on the website. So when we do close this public hearing tonight, I'm going to recommend that we leave it open with a 10-day written comment period in case there's someone who wanted to Zoom that wasn't able to. With that being said, the applicant's representative is here if the board has any questions.
Thank you, Matt.
Yep.
Hi,
How are you?
very good, thank you.
Just need your name and address, please.
Yes, of course. Hi, my name is Rachel Shelfo. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Farrell Fritz, 100 Motor Parkway, Hauppauge, New York, for the applicant, the Markella Mallas Family Trust. If I may, I just have a presentation booklet that I'd like to hand up, and I wanted to give you my card, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
With me here today is Mr. Perry Mallas, representing the Mallas family, to answer any questions which I may not be able to.
Thank you, Greg.
The planning staff stole a lot of my thunder. This application is for a two-lot subdivision of the premises located at 86 2nd Street in Jamesport, tax map number 0600, 92, block 2, lot 38. Property is zoned residence B40. Proposed lot 1 will contain the existing residential home on the premises. Lot 1 is proposed at 21,700 square feet. The shed and garage, as noted, will be demoed on the lot 2. Lot 2 is proposed at 25,567 square feet. I think here the exhibits kind of tell the story, and I'm going to be very brief. We've given you a map of the subject property, an aerial photo, photos of the subject property, as well as photos of the surrounding property. We've submitted, of course, the proposed subdivision map, as well as a color-coded map showing the subject property in blue, and then the surrounding lots and the sizes of the lots in the surrounding community. We've also attached the planning staff report from July 11th by Matt Charters, which notes that the surrounding area consisted of developed single-family residences, all within similar scale, similar lot size as the lots that are being proposed herein. He noted that the negative declaration was adopted by this board on July 18th, and that was by Resolution 2024-48. And then the newest bit of information is the zoning board's approval, right? That was in October of 2024. Variances were approved for lot area, lot width, for both of the lots, and Lot 1 needed an additional variance for maximum impervious surface from 15% to 21.1%. That is really all I have on direct, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, and I would yield to any questions that you may have of me or my client.
Okay, thank you. We're going to just go through this for a couple of minutes, so maybe just stand by in case we do have questions.
Absolutely.
Your presentation is very professional, I have to say.
Thank you very much. I guess while the board's perusing this, we can ask anybody from the audience if they'd like to speak. Heather, do we have anybody on Zoom?
No one on Zoom.
I have a question from Member Zelnicki. The horseshoe driveway, will one be for one lot and one be for the lot, or is it going to remain?
That is an excellent, excellent question, because I had the same question when I looked at the map. The existing, did you call it a horseshoe driveway?
Yeah.
Will be abandoned, and there will be one new standard driveway proposed for each lot. Yes.
So one driveway for each lot, or one driveway will service both lots?
No, one driveway for each lot.
Okay.
If it would be helpful, I could approach and show it to you, because it's a little confusing on the map.
If you want to say it?
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Okay, sure.
So I'm filling in for my partner today, and this was the exact question I had. So the surveyor showed the existing horseshoe, as you say, right
Right.
here. But if you look closely, you could see where the proposed new standard, couldn't call it a standard driveway, right? Standard traditional driveway is proposed for each lot. So that's going to be abandoned, and each will have a, like a more typical driveway.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anything else, board members? No. Okay, if somebody wants to close.
I'll close the public hearing on Mallas Property Minor Subdivision. So moved.
Second?
Just add with the, keep it open for 10 days.
10 days for written?
Yes.
Okay, as amended.
December
Moved and
2nd.
seconded. Mr. Zelnicki?
Yes.
Mr. Hogan?
Yes.
Mr. De Niro?
Aye.
And I vote aye, the motion carries.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, appreciate it. Just a question about the record being open. Is that because the Zoom link wasn't functioning? Okay,
Yes,
okay.
we'll keep it open for the submission for written comment for 10 days, which puts us to December 2nd at 4:30 PM.
And would you let us know if anything was received by the department? Okay, great. Thank you so much. sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, gentlemen.
Good luck. Okay, that brings us to our second public hearing, 230 West Main Street for a minor subdivision. Greg, can you tell us about it, please?
All right, thank you. For the record, Greg Bergman, Senior Planner with the Riverhead Planning Department. I will just confirm, I received the affidavit of posting and mailings for the subject property, so we are within our rights to open the public hearing. This is a public hearing for the minor subdivision of 230 West Main Street, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-128-3-31. This is an application seeking to subdivide an existing 14,557 square foot parcel of land, which is currently improved with a 2-story professional office. The subdivision would result in 2 lots, with Lot 1 having a proposed size of 7,153 square feet, and Lot 2 having a size of 7,404 square feet. The property is located within the DC3 zoning use district. As the board will recall, this application required relief from the Zoning Board of Appeals for the minimum lot width at the street frontage. DC3 requires a 50-foot lot width. Both of the lots are proposed to have a width of 45.11 feet. The application was reviewed by the Riverhead Zoning Board of Appeals, and they received the necessary relief by appeal number 2024-023, dated September 12th, 2024. This one's pretty straightforward. During the initial review of the application, we were having some problems with our GIS. I initially identified that this property was not in the parking district. That was incorrect. This property is located within the Riverhead downtown parking district, and as such, they are not required to provide on-site parking when these sites are come in for development applications or redevelopment. So I just want to correct the record on that. Beyond that, we have a representative here from the applicant if he would like to add anything, or if the board has any questions, or we can open up to the public.
Thank you, Greg.
Good afternoon. For the applicant, Matthew Ingber from the law firm of Brown, Altman, and DeLeo, 538 Broad Hollow Road, Suite 301, Melville, New York. I really don't have much to add from Greg's presentation. I'm here as well as the project engineer, Tom Walpert, for any questions that the board or public may have.
All righty, thank you. Anybody from the public? Anybody on Zoom? Any questions, board members? That was easy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we get a motion?
I'll close the public hearing on 230 West Main Street for minor subdivision, so moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Mr. Zilnicki?
Yes.
Mr. Hogan?
Yes.
Mr. Nenaro?
Aye.
And I vote yes, the motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna take discussion items. We only have, I'm sorry,
Just to
Greg.
clarify, for that public hearing, because of the Zoom problems, I would recommend just keeping it open for the submission of written comment for December 12th, December 2nd.
Okay, we can do that. Our first discussion item is Wisbauer Residence, Chapter 19. Heather, what's going on?
All right, I think we have Rob Stromsky here. If the board has any specific questions about the plan that was submitted. So this is a Chapter 219 coastal erosion hazard permit application seeking to reconstruct an existing seasonal cottage from the foundation up and add a second-story addition. So the cottage will be reframed from the foundation up, and the existing rear decks that are attached need to be completely redecked, new railings. The existing deck piers will remain. Some of the framing members may be replaced as necessary. The subject parcel is located at 32 Beach Hill Drive in Calverton in the Woodcliff Park Seasonal Community, more particularly identified as Suffolk County Tax Number 600-40.2-1-17.1. This is within the Residence A40 zoning use district, and the property is presently improved with a 1-story seasonal single-family dwelling, attached rear decks, and attached framed shed, and there's also wooden bulkheading at the toe of the bluff. So pursuant to Chapter 219, this is a reconstruction, or I guess renovation of the existing functional residential structure. The applicant property owner has received a New York State DEC tidal wetlands permit for the proposed work. Just a couple of things. I did refer this to our consulting engineer, Vinnie Gaudiello.
And he, in a memo dated November 14th, 2024, he said, "At this time, no objection is taken to the proposed scope of the project. However, before we recommend engineering approval, the condition and structural integrity of the existing block foundation for the building should be evaluated by the applicant's design professional for the purposes of determining whether the foundation would require replacement or reconstruction." You know, selective shoring up of the foundation or reinforcement isn't as big of a project as having to completely replace the foundation. So that's just something that we wanted a little more information on. So I do have a resolution on to approve this subject to that condition and a couple of other plan revisions that I wanted added. I know that member Zilnicki, he can't really speak right now, but he came in and had a couple of questions about the site. He wanted to know if the existing residence is going to stay seasonal, or if they're looking to fully, I guess, make it year-round. I know it's a seasonal community, and they do actually close in the wintertime.
I believe it has to stay seasonal residents, because I believe they even shut the water to the whole community. So I don't think it's something that they can even stay in.
So no insulation, no heat.
No, we're not proposing anything like that, no.
And I know that you're not adding any bedrooms, you're just relocating one, so it doesn't require health department approval. But
Correct.
Member Zilnicki was wondering about the location of the existing sanitary system. I couldn't find it on any prior surveys. I did pull the other building department files for the property.
From what we understand, the sanitary system is underneath the existing deck or walkway. That would be to the east of the residence. Right. One of the issues with this parcel is this is a unique cottage in that community in the fact that it actually has its own single and separate lot. So I guess whenever that was created, there's really not much room for a sanitary system to service that. So I believe it's, from what we understand, it's somewhere within the vicinity of this walkway to the east of the property. So one of the things is, barring any work to the foundation, one of the things that we were looking to propose, if we had to do any sort of shoring up to the foundation, is using helical piles or helical piers. Basically, it's put in with machinery, but it's basically just an auger, steel auger that would be driven into the ground, that would not require any excavation.
Right.
And we could utilize that system to either shore up an existing footing if we felt that it was compromised, or if we have to add any additional supports. So that's one of the things that, we would recommend if there is any sort of modification or enhancements that need to happen to that foundation. One of the issues is, just because of the access to the site and getting underneath the house, it's kind of difficult, and we wanted to make sure that we were getting favorable review from the DEC, from this board, before I really started to expand any of my clients' cost in doing a full-fledged structural analysis. But we did do a field measurement of the property, and while doing the field measurement of the entire property, roof rafters, we felt that the structure was in pretty good condition, and we recommended to our client that we could continue to move forward, based on our assessment being on site. So we have been on site doing an exhaustive field measurement, so we kind of understand the existing structure. Just like as if with anything, until you start working with it, you know how things are at a level or so forth. But we have put some thought to it, that if we did have to do any sort of work to any of the supports, that we could utilize a system that would minimize any excavation, and anything that would be done would be by hand. You couldn't even get a machine on there if you wanted to.
Would that include raising the house if it need be?
One of the things is because we're adding a second story, the roof would be coming off, and there's one section of the first floor that's actually lower than the rest, and we're proposing to raise that section. So it's only the original main cottage framing that would stay. So once that demo is done, we definitely would be able to get a much better look at the foundation and be able to make those assessments and those calls, right there and then. But we do prepare at this point to kind of go in, review the foundation as much as possible, put together a proposed foundation plan as part of the working drawings that we would need anyway. And if that's something that, we could put that design and present it to the board here, so you at least have, our first.
I would require that probably
Understanding.
as some of the revisions. So in addition to a couple of the things that I had listed under the plan revisions, I think I had put elevation or cross-section of existing foundation and any structural reinforcements if required. So I know that's typically a function of the building department, the construction details, but I think it would behoove this board to have that information. So essentially, like, if someone were to get a site plan approval with the condition that plans be revised before signature, I feel like having the required revisions done prior to the issuance of building permits would be sufficient for the scope of the review that this board is looking
I
at.
had one other question. Isn't the sanitary system, isn't it mandated that it has to be updated?
So it only has to be updated if they require health department approval, and health department approval is only required if you're adding an additional bedroom.
Okay.
So in this case, it's an existing two-bedroom per the records, and they're relocating the bedroom. If they were adding an additional bedroom, that would trigger the requirement for health department approval.
Okay.
I don't know how the health department would necessarily handle this situation, just because of the constraints of the
Yeah,
lot and the
logistics.
proximity to the
Yeah.
road and other properties. But I suspect that's why they're not adding an additional bedroom.
Okay.
Is to avoid the requirement for health department approval.
Are there any problems with erosion over there? It looks like when you look over the side of the deck, it
Yeah,
just
I mean,
drops off pretty.
it's very unique because this community has been there for a very long time. I pulled the building department files, they have an LPU. I mean, that rear deck was constructed, I think, I had it listed in my staff report. They did an addition to the residence in 79, and then they actually constructed the deck in 82 and rebuilt, I guess, a portion of it in 84. So it's been there for quite some time. The neighboring properties are developed similarly. And they're not expanding the footprint of anything. They're not completely demolishing and reconstructing the entire site. So, pursuant to our code, they are permitted to do that, but there is significant erosion on the bluff after, so many years of storms. The bulkheading has been there. I know they did some work to the bulkheading, I think, in 2011 for this property and adjacent properties, but, in the future, this parcel and other cottages in the community that are on the bluff side, I'm not sure where they would be if they wanted to completely reconstruct or expand just due to the,
There's no work being constructed on the bluff itself?
no.
Not at all.
No, so it's funny, the existing deck does hang over where the bluff begins to crest, but they're not touching any of the deck piers or vertical framing members. I think they said selective, like cross members, would have to be replaced if
Yeah,
required.
just
but
framing
it's-
members if required.
Yeah, but they're just redecking the top boards and the railing, which actually doesn't necessarily require a building permit, but I think it's good that they included it in the scope of work just because it's an environmentally sensitive area.
And we did that also for the DEC, because I had some questions as to what might be the work, and, we wanted to list everything that we were planning on doing, so the DEC knew, that we would be working on that deck, being at the proximity to the bluff. So we did explain that, that was the nature of the work.
When was the original structure built? What year?
I think it was built in the 50s. They have a letter of pre-existing use, which is indicative of it being constructed prior to 1965. That's when building permits and subsequent COs were issued. So I'm assuming probably.
Well, then,
before
yeah,
that.
I would assume then you'll have quite a bit of work to do on the foundation. I'm not sure that the foundation that would
they're
be
CM
75 years
yeah.
old.
They're CMUs. I mean, from what I could see, like, I'm not a design professional. Some of it was questionable. That's why I'm asking for the structural analysis, just so that we can be sure. Because if the entire thing needs to be replaced, I would suggest coming back, for an amended 219, just to make sure that all of the information is up to date. We know exactly what the scope of the project is going to be, and that's consistent with Vinnie Gaudiello's comments. I myself live in a house that was built in 1952, and I have a full basement that's constructed out of CMUs, and it's in very good condition, so
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not concerned for my safety.
Anything else?
one
Lee?
And if
Also-
it needs something, you'll fix
Yeah,
it.
again, I mean, in our experience too, I mean,
Yeah.
the concrete block that you were dealing with in the 50s is not what you're buying today in
Yeah.
the store. So,
Exactly.
a lot of the sidewall and the thickness of that block is
Yeah.
a lot thicker than what you're getting now. But, some of the things that we would do is, as we expose some of it, we may level out the foundation in the section that we're looking
Any
to build,
voids,
fill the
I'm
cells
sure you'll deal with
solid,
the voids.
things like that. So that's basically, we're looking to enhance what's there. We're not looking to rebuild it.
Okay.
And I will note that because the community is closed for a certain period of time, that's when construction activity is permitted, because I had concerns about the roadways being narrow and access being blocked for other people, but if no one else is in the community, if it's shut down, they should be able to get in and out with demolition debris and materials. There won't be any sort of stockpiling. The only thing I wanted to ask council, would you suggest having them separate, doing a demolition permit with the building department and then withholding a new construction permit until they get the full structural analysis done?
Yeah, I think that's something that we'd want to,
I don't think that would be necessary, because once I file for a building permit, it's going to be with a full set of working drawings.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I wouldn't, generally in situations like this, when we file for building permits, we file for the building permit and the demos part of that work. So we would have a demolition plan and the full
So
working drawings
you
of
would
what's
have
going to
the
be proposed.
information necessary for the
Yeah.
foundation analysis
Correct.
at that point?
Basically, after this meeting, if the board feels comfortable moving forward and agrees with the scope of work that we're looking to do here, we're prepared to start doing the construction drawings immediately. So this is something that we're going to be actively putting together and getting done. So once we are ready to move forward, we'll have a full set of construction drawings with all the necessary information on foundations and sections and so forth.
Okay. So I would just ask that a copy of that be submitted to
Without
me
a doubt.
along with the revisions that are listed in the resolution, just so we can keep our record consistent. And what I'll do is I'll provide a copy of that revised 219 plan and the construction drawings with the resolution to the building department. That way everyone's on the same page.
Sure.
How long is the community shut down for in the wintertime?
It's from October to April.
I believe so.
So that's,
Yeah, our intention is to definitely have the major construction done, the shell watertight and so forth. The only thing that may happen, and I don't even know, I haven't really looked at the particulars, but if there was anything that was gonna happen in season, it might be installing of appliances or, putting in wood flooring or something in a room.
Right.
At that point, once the community's open, there wouldn't be any stockpiling of material or large amounts of trucks. You're probably talking a one or a two-man crew that are gonna be looking to
Right.
install appliance or a countertop, something like that. It would just be finished work at that point. But I don't even know if that's even allowed. So I haven't gone too far into those particulars. But without a doubt, the major construction of the shell and getting everything weather tight, sheet rocked, and so forth, all of that work would be done prior to the community opening, because that's when we would need large deliveries.
Right.
And it just wouldn't be
Yeah, it's a
feasible
rough
to make it
location.
happen.
It's similar to Oakwood on the Sound and Wading River, where they shut down and they shut off the water like at the street. It's not within the community. And they have an HOA there that has to approve their permits. This being a separate lot from the rest of the community, I don't know how that comes into play, but as long as the major construction is happening off-season, there's not gonna be issues of people getting in and out or to their seasonal residences.
Right.
I don't have an issue with it.
okay.
Anything else, guys?
No,
We'll have a vote in a little while.
All right, great.
Thank you.
Okay, public comments. I don't see too many takers. Let's move into resolutions, gentlemen.
I move resolution 2024-089 for the Westboro residents for the granting the chapter 11, excuse me, chapter 219, sorry. Chapter 219 with the changes. You're gonna put some changes in here?
I think we
They're
were
already
gonna.
in.
You're already in?
The revisions are in there, so
Revisions,
it's,
okay, all right.
condition number 1 details everything, and then number 2 is the structural
Okay.
analysis pursuant to Vinnie's comment.
So moved.
second,
Was that a Freudian slip that you said?
Yes.
Okay. All right, moved in second. Mr. Zolnicki?
Yes.
Mr. Hogan?
yes.
Mr. Nenaro?
Aye.
And I vote aye, your motion carries. Good luck. Okay, public comments on all matters. Once again, Not seeing a bunch of takers. So we have a seeker action.
Yeah, so as the board will recall, a few meetings back, we adopted a new policy to sort of help streamline actions, sort of eliminate a little bit of redundancy and kind of reduce some delays in review. So for the 940 to 946 West Main Street application, which is the redevelopment of the old Blackman site, it is a type 1 action, so I distributed, we now have a complete application. They paid their site plan fees for the illegal work that was done without any kind of approvals. I've received revised plans as well as amended EAF. So I distributed the type 1 secret coordination materials to involved agencies on November 13th. Again, rather than have to wait for a planning board action, this is just to keep the public informed of when we are reviewing applications. So this is just a notice to the board as well as any members of the public that we have distributed those to involved agencies. So the next time that application comes before the board, you would be in a position to be able to assume lead agency and issue a determination of significance. So that's it.
Are we taking any action here, or just?
No, again, so this is, we've already distributed. This is really more just a public notice, both for the board as well as members of the public, that, we are reviewing these applications. They've been sent out, but there is no action right now that's being taken.
Thanks, Greg. Any other business, gentlemen? Staff? Okay, I wanted to bring up one thing, Greg. The clearing on Cromer Avenue, did they have a permit or anything for that?
They did not. I did reach out to the senior code enforcement officer. There's some discrepancy. There was a zoning board of appeals determination for a use variance that was issued, and then there was a use permit that was issued. So I don't want to discuss it. I haven't gone over it with council yet. It's something we're trying to figure out how to address.
Okay,
But yes, there was no site plan, there were no land clearing permits that were issued by the planning board or by the building department.
Okay, very good. Thank you, staff. Good job as usual. The board would like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Our next meeting is December 5th at 6 o'clock. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you.
Motion to close? Motion to close?
Second. Aye.
Moving to second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the motion carries.